Hello, guys. So, good morning and welcome to the lecture review for all that we did yesterday. The first thing we actually approached was to structure this layout, and the essence was to get a handle on all that we have been doing. And let's jump right straight into our Visual Studio Code and start solving this structure problem. And before we do that, I actually wanted to, appreciate everyone. I know so many of us who are not able to come to class because of the rain, and I hope that this would actually go a long way to get you in line with all that you already know and all that we've been doing, so you won't be left out. So let's jump right straight and start coding. So I have my browser here on my right and my Visual Studio Code, and what we did in class was to create we said 08 underscore, I think it was basic website, right? I don't really know, but I think it was basic website. That's dot html. So we'll do our boilerplate, and we're going to just say uh, basic website structure. So, and let's look at this. So I actually encourage everyone to cultivate the practice of taking every part of a project as a separate piece, even as you work towards making it a complete piece. So the first thing was we focused on creating our this first box here, and to do that, we're going to have like a div. Let's say dot. I'll say dot header, and inside my div I want to have an h2, and uh, I'm going to call it Hamburg, and we just call it anything. So then I have some paragraph, so I'm going to maybe let's say Lauren 20. I don't want to take so much time. Then I want to have I want to have all the boxes in a container. So I'll grab this guy, then I'll paste him inside here. So I have like my first box, and let me see how it looks like. So this is how my first box looks like, and now I know I need like a border around, so I'll go into the head of my I hope you guys can see this. Let me zoom out. Yeah, so let me zoom in. So I'm going to say style. So inside my style, I'm going to target, I'm going to target the header. So I'm going to say header, and I'm going to say border, say 1 pixel. Just you could use 2, but I'm going to use 1. So I'm going to give it like black. So I have my body around. I'm going to say background color, and I'm going to give it F4. Sorry guys, I have my hash here, and when I save, I have my background color changed. What else? So in class, I think we actually centered, so I'm going to say dot header h2, the text align, we said center. So I think that was all that we did in class. And for the first part, then I think we did, let's take a look at our project. Okay, we added margin here, and we added margin at the bottom. So we'll add that as we progress too. So let's build our second box and the third one. So but let's focus on the second one, and it's basically the same thing with the first one, just that when we're floating left, we reduce the width size. So let me focus on my second box. I'm going to say dot. I'm going to say dot section. I think that was what I did in class, and I'm basically going to have the same, not like the same because I'm going to change the. Sorry, I'm supposed to do Control C. Then I'll come right here. When I paste, I'll say. I could just say news about a company. It doesn't really make sense, but then I actually want it to have exactly the same border styling. So instead of having my style targeted to just the header, I could just come here and say and give them like another class name. I could just say box. So I just have my 4 boxes, and let me go over it again. Like let me go over this again. So the first was I have like the first box and the second box and the third box and the fourth box, and they are all sharing like a class name. They are sharing the box class name, and that's why they all look alike. All I just had to do was I changed the content, but I gave every box like a class name of box. Just like a class name that I distributed amongst the 4 boxes. Why they also have their own class names too, so I could target those class names and readjust them. So I hope you get the point. We're able to target H2, all the H2s, and we did text align center. And the next project is to actually align our boxes. So this one will move this way, and this other one will actually move this way. But before that, let's give the items in our boxes a padding all round of 20 pixels. So when we gave them a padding of 20 pixels, you saw like everyone just adjusted a bit. So the next is to start to move our boxes around, and because the second box actually has a class of section, so I'm going to target that. I'll come right under my box and I'll say dot section, then I'll say width. It's going to take like 60% of the width size of my screen. So you see when I said 60 it moved. Then I'm going to target this third box, which is the A side, right? This A side, this third box here, A side. I'm making the video as quick as possible because I know you guys are already good at this. In fact, a great number of students were able to do create amazing contents while we're in class. So I reduced this one to 30. So while I'm going to float this to the left, right, I'm going to float this other one. Sorry, not right, guys. Say float right. So I've actually floated this to the right, but you see the last item actually jumbled into, wanted to be part of the team, but we actually don't want it to be part of the team. This was actually the reason why we were doing this, so we could see how to clear all the like what actually pushed it into this collection. But before I do that, let's try adjusting this one, the second one. Let me say 27% of my screen size, so it's now in. And the last thing to do is to get rid of this guy, not read, like to bring him down. I think it shouldn't be blog here. I think I should change it to footer. I wrote blog, so I could say footer, save it. So to do that, there's a special way of doing that. We could just create a function, a div. Sorry guys, I just completed a video on JavaScript. So when I create that div, I'll just come right here and give it a special property and with a value. So the property would be clear and clear both. So when I do that, it got rid of the box and popped it down to to the section where it was meant to be. So this was like basically the first thing that we did in class. Take your time to go over this. See, the CSS was actually short because of this property, this box property that we actually gave to every div, knowing fully well that they would all take the same, will apply almost the same styling to all of them, like the border, the background. You could actually change, you could actually tweak yours. I could say background color and change maybe, you know, yeah, it depends on what you want to do. So I could go to the footer and you could just do whatever you want to do. But the beauty is that our style is shorter, way shorter. Instead of targeting every individual box and giving them almost the same, repeating the codes, we are able to do this. So that was that for, let me scroll. So you see, I actually had a container containing everything. I could target my container and give it a style and pay attention to code structure. We have one, and we have two, we have the third div, and we have uh, the this fourth, this div here. Then the last closing tag is actually the container div here. So I think that was all that we did for this project. The next thing we looked at was how to create links and buttons. So to do that, I said 09 underscore, not I said 09 underscore links underscore buttons dot, not buttons, button dot html. So all we need to do is to grab our boilerplate, and we have this Control B to get rid of the side menu, and I just did links. This was like the shortest code that we wrote, but we learned a lot from it, from button. And I saved this. I did, let me jump and get my server up and running. So I gotta just click it. So we have like an empty HTML doc. So, and the first thing we did was to create a link with the anchor element. So I'll just comment out and say the anchor tag. The anchor tag basically is a tag that allows you to, all these links that you click on the websites you visit. The anchor tag actually gives you, like, leverages you the opportunity to do that. So I could just say Google. I could just say Google, and I just have a link here. I could actually connect to Google by saying https colon backslash google.com. You could try this, and when I save this, I don't have my internet on. Once I click this, it will automatically redirect me to the Google homepage. So, and I actually told you guys this is an inline element, because it's an inline element because when I have another link, they all appear on the same line. So as many links I have, they all appear, but we can't always tweak that. So let me get rid of this one, and so that's it for links. And yeah, it's more to it. We did more about that in our HTML course. The essence of this was to show you how we could style this. So let me jump right into my CSS, and let me target the anchor tag. I'll say I want to remove the text decor none. And when I save this, you see it got rid of the underline. I could increase the font size. We say font size 20 pixels. I could just do 32 pixels, which should be like 2 M's. 32 pixels. I could do to yeah yeah this 32 pixels. So I could do font. I could do font family. Could just change, like use a website font, and I could have a background color. I could say background color, let's say blue. I could change the text color white, do hash FFF, save that. I could do you could do so many things. I could do border. I could say 1 pixels solid, and I could say white, and so I have it down there. I could do border radius and border radius. I could say 5 pixels, and I think it's showing, but let me see. Let me just say 10 pixels. No, it's not that pretty, but so you get the idea, right? So this is like I could do hover. I think we did hover in class, hover effect. So to do the hover effect, I'll say a dash hover, and I'll say when I hover around it, I want the background color to change to black. Then I want the color to change to no, I want the color to change to, let me say, GDD, right? So when I hover around, you see it actually. No, I actually don't like this border, and it makes it looks ugly with that. So I think I prefer it this way. I could give it like a padding of 5 pixels all around, and maybe I could now add, yeah, I could just give it like a, so you get the idea, right? So the next thing we did was we looked at how to create buttons, make it as fast as possible. Let's add some line breaks times 4 times 4. Then I'll come right and I'll say buttons. And I'll say click. So click, just click basically. So I have these buttons here. Let me just click to win, just as we did in class. Click to win, and I have this. So I could just target my button and style it up. I could say button. We're not doing dot button because it's not a class. It's actually a tag. So I could maybe grab all this, except the text decoration. Grab all this and come right here, paste them, save. So I could also do, just as we did in class, I could do a hover effect. So we don't waste so much time. But I'm going to come here and change to button. So when I hover around my button, like you could tweak the style properties, and let me just change this to maybe red. I'm going to do FF0000. So you get the idea. So you could do, when you hover around this, the font size should reduce. I could say font size, when I hover around this, font size should be 16 pixels. This only works when you hover around it. See, when I hover around, but it doesn't look pretty. It's just so you get the idea of what. So that was, for the most part, what we did with links and buttons. In the third presentation in class, we worked on a horizontal navbar. So I'll just put you through like what we did, and I'll actually stop where we stopped. So, and or maybe finish it up. So welcome back, guys. This was basically what we, let me zoom in. So this was basically what we built together in class. In fact, everyone participated, and got themselves impressed for the most part. So we're going to be doing our basic structure, and to start, just as I encourage everyone, we're going to take it bit by bit. The first thing we're going to do is to create another list with some list items. So I'm seeing 4 list items here. I'm saying that I have to create a border around. I'm saying I have to include like a border radius of maybe 5 pixels. I can see that I need to include uh, a border bottom of maybe 1 pixel, black, solid. I need to change the text color to black and remove the text underline, underline to give it a value of none. So we'll jump right straight into our Visual Studio Code and start by creating the UL. So the first thing I have to do here is I'll create a new file. I'll say 10 underscore sidebar. Yeah, because it's a sidebar, it's a side navigation bar. HTML, save that, Control B to get this out, and I'm gonna say sidebar project. So it's running here. That's why you can hear the background noise. It's actually running here. I guess it's running in your places too. So I have my UL. I have li times. And one thing I failed to add was, let me go back, that the links are actually clickable. So you see we have the cursor pointer. So the links are clickable. That means inside our li we're going to have our anchor. We're going to have our anchor tags. So if I say li times, we have 4, right? So then I'm going to have my anchor elements here. Remember how we did this? You just have to, let me show you guys again. We've done this in class before. You hold the Alt key and you move down, click. So I need some spacing so I could add my anchor elements. I'll add the hash here. I guess I'm done. Then let me get rid of this space. These items, this list item should be inside. Let me show you guys something. So I'll get rid of this space and I'll get a space here. It should be inside your anchor elements or anchor tag. So I'm going to put home here. You see that I'm not actually putting it outside. Next is about. See, I have to shout so you can hear me properly. Next is services. And the last but not the least is contact. You just fill it up with whatever you want. So contact us. Then I have to jump right straight and have the display. So so I'm gonna have my URL. Then we did. I think we gave it a margin top and bottom. Margin. Let's say margin, so top and bottom 30 pixels, left and right 0. Let's give it some padding of 20 pixels all round. We should not be targeting this padding to this. We should target it to the A, to this A tag. So 20 pixels and right. We added a line height here, so I say line height of 2.4 ems. So So let's include our lines, and we included the line here. We included the line. I'm actually looking at my fonts. Okay, let me include the line. So we included the line here. We said, say border bottom, border bottom. I guess you understand why we included the line here. 1 pixels solid. We just use the 333. So yeah, I think we are now getting a hand on it. Let me get rid of this, and let me increase my width to let me increase my width to no, let me get rid of this too. Don't know why I'm getting rid of all this. Increase my width to maybe, let's say, 400. Hmm. So I guess I should include the padding that I removed of 20 pixels. Okay. Then yeah, so this was all that we did in class, and yeah, this was all that we did in class. The 30 pixels actually went up. Let's do the Chrome Dev tool and see that. So so we had the 30 pixels. Let me do this one last time. We had 30 pixels up and down, then we had 20 pixels all around. We have 20 here, 20 here, and every li. Yeah, so the next class would complete the project, which would actually learn about removing this last line and making it look more like this. um, So in the next class, we are going to be completing the project. This was how far we went in class. So I don't actually want to continue maybe completing it. I wanted us to do that together. I hope to see you on Wednesday, and also do well. Try to complete it yourself. Try to see if you could actually remove this line and learn something new. Visit W3 schools, try to create a project, and I wish you all the best. Thank you guys.